Okay, welcome back to the podcast, and eerily beloved, we are gathered here today with
Mom.
Garrett.
That is all for today. Just the two of them.
Oh, it's all we're done.
Yep,
Yeah, that's all for the day.
episode.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
Today we are doing a true crime episode, so I do want to preface this by saying if you are listening with young children or if you don't like gory stuff, this case is kind of a doozy, so please don't listen to it and listen to another episode instead.
Morgan Morales.
No.
If you're listening with the kids in the car,
Please turn it off.
press pause.
Not the episode for young children today, but it's an important one. Okay, like I said, trigger warning for graphic content, including dismemberment and other stuff mentioned. So if you don't like that, listen to a different episode or not. If you choose not to listen, we'll see you next week. Okay, and this week we're going to be talking about Oregon's oldest unidentified persons case.
Ooh.
Wow. You've already setting this creepy scale with all the warnings.
Less creepy, more scary, I guess.
Okay, let's get into it.
So on the evening of Friday, April 12th, 1947, H.C. Foster and his friends James and Mary Rader were out on his boat on the Willamette River. They were about 5 miles downstream from Portland and enjoying a rare, dry Oregon spring night when they came across something floating in an eddy. Mary Rader described what they found as what she assumed was a bag of drowned cats, and they pulled the burlap-looking sack out of the water.
Bag of drowned cats?
Mm-hmm.
So it was furry?
Whoever tossed the bag clearly didn't want it to be opened, as the bag was secured with binding tape, rope, and telephone wire.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, upon opening the bag, the three boaters discovered the nude, headless torso of a woman with clothing stuffed haphazardly inside.
Ew. Okay, but why is your first thought cats?
Cats.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it was wrapped in a bag. Black bag, could have been.
That's awful.
Okay. So that was Friday the 12th. The brutal nature of the crime was incredibly uncommon for that time period, and word about the grisly discovery spread through newsrooms like wildfire. By Saturday morning, police already had someone who knew details about the crime in custody. 26-year-old Orville Schweitzer called police from a payphone downtown claiming, "I can tell you everything about this murder," that he had just seen the woman on the night of April 4th and he could take police to where the body had been cut up. Police were so quick to act that Orville Schweitzer was still on the phone at the phone booth when he was apprehended.
Wow.
He must have been on there for a while.
Wow.
Details mentioned in the phone call had included things that police hadn't at that time released publicly, making Orville self-proclaimed suspect number one. Why would you? Whatever.
He must have just been bragging on that phone forever.
Police
From a
were glad.
payphone.
Police were glad to have someone in custody because after the coroner's report was delivered that afternoon, they had little, if any, leads to go off of. Clackamas County Coroner Ray Rillance estimated that the body had not been in water more than 24 to 36 hours. However, other authorities believe that it could have been in water up to 30 days, which
Okay.
That's
quite a
a
large
difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
The torso had no identifying marks and no signs of sexual assault. Ray Rillance said the dismemberment was done, in quotes, rather cleanly and must have been a person who was familiar with anatomy. He said the killer at least had to know where the joints were. No cause of death could be determined from the torso alone.
Oh, wow. So this guy calls in from the payphone, says he has the details, but he had seen her just a week before.
April 4th, yeah.
Okay.
Orville Schweitzer was released from police custody shortly after his arrest because he claimed he made the phone call because I just wanted publicity.
Wait, so he just happened to get everything correct?
Details that no one else knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Okay,
there's clearly more to this story.
Weirdo.
Because of the lack of evidence that could be derived from the body, investigators then turned to the clothing that was in the bag for clues as to who their mystery woman was. The sack contained a woman's light gray herringbone coat with brown silk lining, a plum-colored wool skirt, a woman's lightweight cotton union suit, a white or tan belt, a black knit skirt and a jacket to match, and a cream-colored wool pullover sweater.
Wow. Very well dressed.
Whole closet. Officer said the sleeves were cut from the herringbone coat found in the sack, indicating the possibility that the coat might have been on the body at the time it was dismembered. The sleeves had also been cut from the black knit jacket, and one of them was missing. All identifying labels and marks had been cut out or removed from every article of clothing, but police were able to determine that extensive tailoring and obvious wear was consistent across all the items, which indicated she likely came from a modest family. Images of the clothes along with their descriptions were released to the public in hopes that they would be able to recognize the clothing or the tailoring done that would help aid investigators into figuring out who this person was. On Sunday, April 14th, pathologist Dr. Warren C. Hunter, who conducted the autopsy, identified the woman as being 50 years or older. Initially, earlier reports had concluded that the woman was in her late teens or early 20s, which unfortunately led to families of over 20 missing girls in the area flooding the station with phone calls over the last few days, hoping that they had recovered their loved one's body.
Okay, but there's a huge difference between a teenager and a 50-year-old's torso.
Yeah.
Due to the large age difference between what they had originally suspected and the age determined by Dr. Hunter, investigators had to wipe their initial suspect pool and start over. Typically, the same person targeting young girls wouldn't also be targeting middle-aged women. Dr. Hunter also believed the woman was between 5'2" to 5'4" and around 140 to 150 pounds. In addition to no evidence of sexual assault as previously determined, the body showed no signs of physical assault as well.
So, poisoned?
Which is so weird. Like, what's the motive then?
So they're dismembered. So the only thing they found, though, is the torso so far. Okay.
That afternoon, a little upstream from Willamette Falls and 6 miles from where the torso was found, a tugboat crew discovered another burlap sack on the west bank of the river. This sack had been wrapped in telephone wire 3 times and attempted to be weighed down with weights tied to the sides of it. This bag contained both handless arms and the upper right thigh. The crewmen said they noticed the bag around a month ago and only went to investigate after the discovery of the torso on Friday. So discrepancies in the length of time the body was in the water was because the state police were basing their estimate on reports that the finders of the torso and the one that they had just found, containing the other portions of the body, had been seen as long as a month ago. I'm not sure if that's accurate, though.
Okay.
And this bag only has one thigh and
2 arms, no hands. But they saw the bag floating in the water. I mean, at least they didn't think it was dead cats.
Yeah, I don't know where you get dead cats from just a bag in the water.
So that's where they're thinking maybe a month ago, even though the guy called and gave details, saying that he had just seen her the week prior, and he knew things that no one else knew.
But he was already released because...
Well, it doesn't mean he didn't actually do it.
He just wanted the attention.
Okay.
Orville the Pizzler.
Worse than a pizzler.
Yeah, he is. Way worse.
So police finally got their first clue when on the west side of the riverbank, 10 feet away from where the sack was found, they discovered a set of clearly defined footprints belonging to a men's size 9 or 10 shoe. They were heading down towards the water from a densely forested trail that wasn't easily accessible and then doubled back to the trail after heading down towards the water. Investigators estimated that they had been there for some time, about 30 to 60 days. Chief Criminal Deputy E.O. Bacon of the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office said the prints were undoubtedly made by a man because the stride was more than a normal pace of a woman. And this set of prints were the only ones in that entire area. So it wasn't a well-traveled part of the river or trail or anything like that. State Police Sergeant Everett Meads, who was one of the officers to investigate, believed that all portions of the body were thrown from the same secluded spot on the river. This also indicated that the man wasn't out of shape if he was able to throw those bags in the water. Officers on the scene also were of the opinion that the killer had to be intimately acquainted with the terrain. The trail was found along an old railroad track, which a random stranger would have difficulty navigating.
So did he toss them all at once, they think, or just like one at a time over a couple of days?
Well, that would depend on the number of prints they had, right?
If they only have one, then it would be...
Yeah, that's true.
Also found at the scene beside the train tracks was a Skopal brand rabbit feed sack, similar to the ones that the other portions of the body were found in.
Okay, so we have our bag reference. Okay. So someone along the train tracks hiking through the brush to throw the body parts. Now we need to find the rest of them.
So that was on Sunday. On Monday, Police sent out crews and divers to drag the river in hopes to find the rest of the body, specifically the head, which would hopefully allow them to use dental work to identify the woman.
Yep.
On one of these drags of the river, a sack was recovered, but it was empty.
What? An empty sack?
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Sheriff Fred Raxiker and his deputies are running down endless leads and following up on missing persons reports. By Tuesday, April 16th, after countless drags of the river were fruitless, police were losing hope that they'd be able to recover any more parts of the body, and with that, additional clues as to who this woman was. It was assumed at this point that the killer had dumped the remains in other waterways because they weren't able to find other parts of the body. Fingerprints from the hands and dental records from the head would be able to quickly identify her and potentially her killer as well.
Well, yeah, I think that guy might know that too. That's why he's keeping him hidden.
And it's possible that it was untied or, things floated out.
Animals got to it.
Missing persons reports and files throughout the entire state had been combed through, and nothing was a match. According to Captain Van Gerdane, law enforcement believed that they had been close to identifying the woman twice, but further examination of the clothing proved these leads to be false. Captain Gerdane also recognized that there was a possibility that the clothing could have been planted in the sacks to throw off police.
They could have, but well-tailored clothes, all of them from the same person.
Yeah, all of them with the tags cut out. I mean, that seems like that's a lot of extra work. With the arm cut off of the jackets.
I mean, it seems like it paid off, though. He got away with murder.
So on Friday, April 26th, the Oregonian reported that diving operations to recover missing head, hands, and legs of Milwaukee's torso murder victim have produced no results, according to Sheriff Raxiker.
That's too bad.
It wasn't until weeks later on July 28th that another sack was recovered.
Oh, geez.
This time in the Columbia River below the McLaughlin Bridge in Gladstone. Sheriff Raxiker reported that it contains what seems to be a left thigh and was wrapped in a black skirt. The bag itself was secured with a similar wire that the previous two had been wrapped in. An attempt was made to weigh this sack down as well, with 3 weights attached to the sides. After this discovery, officers began to theorize this bundle had been tossed from the bridge. This confirmed to police that the killer had dumped the body sporadically and debunked the theory that the bundles were all disposed of from the one secluded spot on the west bank of the river.
Yeah.
So probably just the one that was found in the water by the crew. Okay.
The next day, a bundle of clothing was recovered and tangled in driftwood only 60 feet from where the bag had been found the day before. In this bundle of clothes were 3 shirtwaists, 2 nightgowns, a wool sweater, and undergarments.
Was he going through her closet or something?
I don't know.
That's a lot of clothing.
But also, no clues had been derived from the garments previously found with the torso. So nothing from that.
Okay, so now we're into late July. And then we find the clothes. We find the thigh with the skirt that matches the jacket, and then the rest of the clothes, which is significant. I mean, April, it's not that cold. We're wearing lots of layers.
Okay. Well, just the quantity of the stuff is kind of strange. It's not a shirt and a pair of pants. It's 3 shirts, 2 nightgowns, a sweater.
Like
Very
someone was
strange.
staying overnight.
Or lived there.
Yeah. Or, yeah.
On vacation.
Maybe. On August 15th, brown hair attached to what appeared to be a human scalp was found on a log cable in the Willamette River, just a few hundred yards upstream from where the second bundle with the arms and leg was found.
Ugh.
Weird side note, but one of the men who reported this was also part of the crew on the tugboat that found the second bundle.
Okay, now I'm getting suspicious.
Just odd. I mean, I guess it would make sense if you're working the same shift. You have the same, route.
But they would have looked and they dragged the river.
Yeah, just weird. Sheriff Raxiker hoped that this discovery might point to where the location of the head might be and ordered this portion of the river to be dragged and searched again. Because they're thinking, okay, at this point, if it's decomposing, then
Although,
maybe...
it could have been what was in the sack that was empty.
True.
Could have been.
Unfortunately, a few days later, after being examined by state criminologist Dr. Howard Richardson, it was determined that what they thought was a piece of scalp was actually animal hide.
Okay, that's good.
Well, that makes me feel better because I was already getting creeped out.
Yeah.
And all attempts to identify the women up to this point had been completely fruitless and nothing came of it. by clothes or otherwise.
By up to this point, you mean like today?
No, up to this point, which would
We're
be
mid-August.
August 15th.
Okay.
Until September, when police came across a woman who'd been reported missing 2 years prior on August 24th, 1945. Maria Nastos, 47, of Seattle, went missing while on her way home from Wenatchee, and no one had seen her or her vehicle she was driving since. Looking for answers, her husband, Chris Nastos, was incredibly cooperative with investigators and came to the station with their 2 sons in tow. Because of the lack of physical identifiers, Chris told police that Maria had had her appendix removed several years ago. And once again, police found themselves at a dead end because the torso pulled from the Willamette still had its appendix.
Oh, dang.
I mean, but a good way to...
But I thought they looked at all the missing persons. Like, but
I don't know if it was just
That's all
local.
local Seattle, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just local or if they... I don't know what the police force was looking like in 1946.
Okay, well, you can't regrow an appendix, so that's not her. Okay.
Yep. But investigators weren't at a standstill for long, because on October 14th, 6 months after the initial discovery, Roy Cutter and his wife were on a Sunday stroll at the foot of Courtney Avenue and Oak Grove along the Willamette River when they discovered an odd-looking bundle floating in the water.
Oh, dear.
Chief Deputy Sheriff Joe Shobe and Special Deputy Pat Reynolds fished the object out of the river and wrapped a newspaper, a partial T-shirt, and with weights tied on the sides was a human skull, which they positively identified as belonging to the torso of the murder victim.
It was a skull?
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of it had decomposed because now we're in September?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
October.
Oh, I'm sorry, October.
But it wasn't in a bag. So maybe to your point, it was supposed to be in a bag, but got loose or something happened. Examination by Dr. Howard Richardson, as reported in the Oregonian, established that the head was that of a woman of more than 50, with brown hair turning gray, which had been put up in curls held by bobby pins, as if the victim had just come from a beauty parlor.
Wait, how do they know that from?
Well, I don't think it was like a skull, like fully decomposed. Dr. Richardson also noted that the right side of the skull had been fractured as if hit by a considerable force with a heavy blunt weapon or object. The victim's teeth were unique, which would hopefully help investigators out. Dr. Richardson's analysis disclosed that the victim's remaining upper teeth were fake and the 8 lower teeth had been filled, 4 with gold.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we've got another dental discovery.
Mm-hmm.
That should get them somewhere.
We're loving the fact that people have weird teeth.
It also said remaining, so I don't know if...
Oh, it's probably missing some teeth.
But also like decomp, I don't know if getting battered around in the river caused some...
Yeah, if they were fake, maybe those ones are gone. So what would be left are just nubs.
Police also looked into the newspaper that was wrapped around the skull, seeking any information that could point them to the identity of their victim and the killer. The only thing that came of this was a partial headline reading WAC in North Africa. From what I can find, police have never released how long they estimated the skull was in the water for.
You mean they can't tell what date that newspaper was from?
Nope.
You would know by the publication run.
I mean, it was in the water. It was in the water and the ink was so probably falling apart. Yeah.
Well, for 6 months, yeah, there can't be much left.
But you know how they now put it under like the certain lights and you can see the letter.
I mean, they tried to dry it out, but
it
was
just printed
didn't.
On there to see, get some
Mom,
information.
it's 1946.
I know, okay. And they probably didn't save anything. Or the police facility burnt down or... Okay, so we're still no closer, and now it's October. Mm-hmm. But no one's reporting to someone missing.
Nope.
In April, from April-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With most of the body now recovered, police were able to draft a composite description of the woman. The victim was at least 50 years of age, from 5'2" to 5'4" in height, about 100 to 150 pounds in weight. She had long hair of light texture, more gray than brown, and neatly done up. The upper teeth were false, while 8 remaining lower front teeth had been filled, 4 with gold and 4 with fillings missing. So that was like the official composite that they put out.
Yeah.
Like, not a bolo, but kind of. Despite now having a full picture of who this woman was, and after circulating the victim's dental work nationwide, Local publicity covering the case and officers' efforts failed to materialize any reports of missing women who matched this description.
Oh, come on. There's got to be a dentist someplace.
After 2 years of unsuccessful leads, Clackamas County District Attorney Stanley Mitchell announced that all evidence was going to be turned over to the FBI in hopes that with their more advanced equipment and technology, they might figure out who this woman was.
Good.
Okay.
After the FBI took over, news reports on this case went completely silent. I think everyone believed that things were happening behind the scenes that couldn't be released to the public for good
And they
reason.
just stuffed it in a closet.
In September of 2025,
What?
Jeez.
Okay.
an article
okay.
published by the Oregonian titled "Oregon Authorities Exhume Remains, One of Portland Area's Oldest Unsolved Murders," it's revealed that the reason why no further updates on the case were released is because state police, this is in quotes, said the victim's remains went missing from law enforcement custody in the 1950s with no documentation of their disposition.
See, I was totally joking about that, but I was afraid that was what was going to happen. I mean, the building didn't burn down, but oh my gosh, we just lost the remains with like dental records that could have helped. Keep going.
Recently, state anthropologist Haley Collard's daughter was reviewing the case, and according to Oregon State Police Captain Kyle Kennedy, discovered that there wasn't an understanding of where those remains were.
There wasn't an understanding.
But shout out to my friend findagrave.com. Love that website. Because matching dates and records reporting that a female torso from River, interned in 1951, were able to pinpoint authorities to a grave at Mountain View Cemetery in Portland belonging to unknown woman 1946, partially obscured by layers of dirt and located in the cemetery's oldest section.
Well, who buried her?
Yeah, and who paid for it? I feel like there'd be some type of record of...
Someone's got some splaining to do.
The dismembered remains have been unidentified for 80 years, and it's unclear whether it's possible due to the state of the remains, even with advanced technology.
Yeah.
That makes me so sick.
Despite this, Captain Kennedy for the Oregonian said, "We are going to continue the effort to positively identify her remains for as long as it takes."
You mean now we're going to actually try?
Mm-hmm.
Now that we remembered that they're there. Okay, so what happened to the hands, the feet, the rest of the legs?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there?
Okay, so we've never found her feet. 80 years.
Her, like, below her knee, basically. Because they only found
Oh,
the
yeah, the
thighs
thigh.
of both.
So we have no knees down on either right or left leg.
And no hands.
And no hands.
Yep.
Okay.
So people on the internet, because this is Oregon's oldest case, have also kind of been not thinking about it, but after the publication of that article in September 2025, people online were like, "Oh, what? What do you mean you lost the body?" Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This person said, "I wish I were more familiar with the fashion of the 1940s. Reading the description of the clothing, it sounds like it was clothing of good quality, possibly indicating wealth. Silk was unavailable and largely replaced by synthetics during the war, and it took a little while to restore supply." Again, definitely not an expert, but I like vintage stuff. It seems as though a lot of the clothing tags from the area included a place, not the made in Bangladesh of today, but a local store/supplier. If the clothing indicated that she was from elsewhere, that could have been the reason to remove the tags.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to remove the tags.
Someone else said, "Looking for someone who knew anatomy and had access to bulk animal feed bags, ... maybe a veterinarian."
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like there's plenty of clues. Or let's go back to the guys on the tug or whatever that, found these. They would probably know. They've probably seen people in that area, if they're working that every day. So there's plenty of leads they probably could have followed.
Maybe, yeah.
But they have no notes. And we have a buried body that's been sitting in the ground.
I mean, the FBI has the notes and stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything.
So
Well, we don't know if they did
haven't
anything.
solved it. So we don't
Nothing's-
know about it.
Yeah, nothing's been released, so
They've been working 80 years on the case.
maybe.
Maybe.
Oregon's oldest unidentified person's
Or it
case.
could just be in a cabinet.
Okay, so it's now July 1st, 2026.
Mm-hmm. And as of the article in September 2025, nothing has been.
Are you going to tell me that we're to the end of this?
Yeah.
No.
That's it. I mean, that's a lot for a case from 1946 that had no suspects.
Okay, I'm back to the guy who made the phone call.
The 26-year-old.
Orville.
Listen, he said that he had
Mom, it could've
information
been
that
a
nobody else
lie.
knew.
He could have just been making stuff up, and it just
He just guessed right?
Yeah.
Well, he has more information than anybody else.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure they looked into him more than just.
I'm sorry.
You're a
I
liar.
think. Wait, use the term you always use, allegedly, because I don't think it's obviously. Obviously, this case has had a bunch of blunders.
Well, and unfortunately, everyone who probably was on the case is dead.
Right.
They also re-looked at it in 2008 and didn't realize that the body was missing.
So they didn't look at it then.
Right.
They just publicly looked at it.
How do you relook at it in 2008?
Because they went through the files, but they didn't exhume the body for further testing or.
Well, they
It's
didn't.
like, why wouldn't that be the first thing you do? Hey, let's see. Plus, the find a grave.
Plus, they have dental records.
Hopefully, the find a grave thing just said torso from missing woman found in river. It didn't say the arms or the head or the thighs.
Oh, so that might not even be.
So it's unclear if that's even her and if they only buried that part or.
I mean, 1946
Well, they
torso.
better not
organ,
have
there
multiple
can't be that
torsos.
many.
There was a torso killer that was operating around 1946, I think, in Ohio. And so originally they believed maybe she could have been a suspect of him, but nothing tied her to that case concretely. So
They think this guy came all the way from Ohio
yeah.
just to dump a body.
I mean, but again, for the time period, like this was a very graphic and
Disturbing.
yeah, it wasn't just a domestic incident. It wasn't.
We've got somebody that had to have knowledge of the area.
Like it made front page news for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean
nationwide.
Hiking boots or whatever to the river through the brush, plus then throwing things potentially over a bridge. So that's likely access to a car.
But also, they don't know that the footprints belong to the person. It could have been anybody.
Well,
Could have
I
been
think
someone
they made
fishing.
a lot of assumptions.
And if they had been there for 30 days, it's going to rain in April in Oregon. You don't know.
I mean, it rains in June, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it rains in April for sure.
Right.
Okay, well.
And along the train tracks, it could have been someone like a houseless person. Or, they used to use the train to get from one place to another back then. So
I have questions for the tugboat folks. I've got questions for the guy who called from the payphone. And I've got questions the state police turning that stuff over to the FBI. And then let's just pass all those questions on to the FBI.
I mean,
That's 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's wrong to pass it off onto the FBI.
I think it's kind of wrong that they waited so long to do it. When I read it, I was like, what do you mean you're going to wait until you have nothing left?
They only waited 2 years.
I guess, but why didn't they say, hey, this is kind of out of our depth. Like, we can't.
They should have.
We're not getting anywhere with this. We need some help.
They should have. But it's like a pride thing.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the sheriff, they dredged the same part of the river twice.
Yeah, he was trying.
So they did something.
Well, I'm sure there was a lot of public pressure on him at the time, too, with it being such a highly publicized
let's
case.
go back to last year. So is someone picking this up and looking at it, or is it just the headline is just the torso in the grave, and we're leaving it at that?
No,
Is there work being done?
They exhumed the body to see if they can positively identify it as this woman.
I mean, Mom, it's been 80 years. Like, what's left?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What can they do?
I don't know.
Even 2008, what could they do?
I was hoping for a
Been
dental
60
record
years.
rescue,
Well, going into it, it was Oregon's oldest unidentified person's case. So
that's what I was going to say. It's Oregon's oldest cold case.
So if it's
I don't love it. Let's solve it.
Maybe someone can solve it. If someone's grandma went missing or
Great grandma.
Somebody knows something.
Yeah.
Great grandma, maybe.
I mean, it wasn't the easiest to get places back then. You couldn't just hop on a plane and fly somewhere or drive somewhere even.
This person had a lot of clothes with them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's almost like the guy somehow broke into her house or...
But if that's the case, then there'd be an empty house.
Yeah.
It'd look like someone broke in. You have friends that check up on you. Like, this person has no friends or family or a husband or anyone
Yeah.
checking up on them.
I mean, it could have been a domestic thing.
It could have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
somebody or traveling together,
100%.
people traveling together. Yeah.
But
Well, traveling together is a
but
little.
but the dismemberment, that's not someone that's traveling.
Yeah, that's not. Because what do you do? Like cut in the back of your
And this
car?
article from
Back of station
2025
wagon?
says that she was dismembered with a saw.
Mm.
Originally, it was just like a blunt.
Right.
They couldn't. It wasn't a clean cut thing, but they couldn't figure out what it was.
I mean,
This
they're
article said a
dismembering
saw
someone with a saw through their clothing.
at the
I mean,
joints. They have
That's gonna make a mess.
anatomical knowledge.
Yeah. Yikes. Well,
Maybe like a cow farmer or something. They would have the feed. They would have the.
Rabbit feed.
but then just feed them to the pigs.
You're onto something, Mom.
Well, and
Why make all the effort to
why?
tie,
Yeah, why
tie
make all
parts
the
in
effort?
bags and
Try to weigh 'em
telephone cord
down.
and
Yeah.
wrap them in newspaper? And I mean, that's
Oh yeah, that was a major fail.
that's crazy.
It didn't work a single time.
I mean, I guess it did kind of work because they didn't find the head for 6 months.
But I want to know, were all these dumped at the same time on the same night or day or whatever? Or was it
Over time?
over time? Yeah. And that's why they couldn't find these things.
Yeah, great question.
Well, I mean, based on the fact
Like
that
the thigh, they said, oh, maybe he just threw it over a bridge. Okay, did he do that last night or did he do that 2 months ago?
I think a couple of the searchers might have been blind people playing I Spy because 2 times the second bag that accompanied it was 10 feet away,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
40 feet away.
it's a river. So again, if he's dumping things and it's like a 1 and then he waits a few minutes and a 2, I don't know. And a river does what a river does, you know?
Yeah, but it was the next day. It was 10 feet away.
Yeah, I don't know.
The other one was 10 feet away on the bank of the river.
That they
The
dredged.
footprints, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So some people were playing
Yeah.
on impossible difficulty.
Well, let's hope that this reignites something and they can get closure on this case. I hate to hear about that
Mm-hmm.
for this poor woman who, it just also interesting that the age difference between the torso. Someone says it maybe assumed it was teenager/20, and then it's like, oh wait, 50, because that is just a way different body.
Well, I think also depending on how long it was in the water, it's not going to look like
maybe it was hard to tell.
a torso.
And feel bad for the family that thought it was, their
Mm-hmm.
mom/wife, and
Mm-hmm.
turns out, they couldn't get closure either.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that was sad too.
Okay, we'll have to watch the newspaper for updates. We've been
I know. I feel
pretty
like
lucky.
I do a case, and the next week there's an update or there's
So I
something.
can't wait.
Or...
Let's hope that there's some findings.
Yep.
Putting it out into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
I mean, just seeing there's a picture of the grave and it says unknown 1946. Like,
duh.
that's sad.
Yeah.
I know, but it's sad. It's not even like,
Jane Doe.
yeah. So officially, this lady is called the Oak Grove Jane Doe,
Oak Grove Jane Doe. Well,
which is just across, downtown Lake Oswego.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the Milwaukee
Yeah.
side of the river.
yeah, Oak Grove. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so familiar with the area, unfortunately.
Well, this is a 10 out of 10 for believability.
Mm-hmm.
Old
I'm just following the podcast. Do you agree?
Yeah, but we don't really do believability for like real life
True
murder
crime,
stuff.
yeah.
True crime. Because it obviously happened, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it.
I don't believe that they tried their hardest to solve this case, but
I believe the sheriff did or whoever.
I mean, wouldn't you want to do everything to get this awful sick person off the streets?
Yes.
This is beyond just like I shot someone,
Yep.
drug overdose.
right,
This is calculated to the level of
crazy.
evil.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would get the whole populace
Yeah.
up in arms, scared.
Yeah, especially if there's also the other side of the country is also dealing with a torso killer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's and
This
maybe
would
it's a
just like
copycat,
ignite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it does, like, as as a woman, I think it's like creepy/scary only because, I'm 50 and you don't think that things happen to people when they're over, like, teens and 20s, because why would someone...
I know, I think it's rare that we hear about cases that it's not a young person, unless it is a domestic incident, but...
Just like what we were hearing in Rhode Island, right? How, those were like middle-aged / older women, and that's not common.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was a domestic kind of issue, but it is creepy, and I'm glad there's not more like any type of serial killer, but I would like this to be solved. So I think creepy wise, just stay away from the rivers, but
stay away from the rivers.
And please don't assume that a burlap sack in the water is cats. That is that creeps me
maybe
out.
that was common in 1946. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there's like a throwaway.
But also,
well-known
you
thing.
see a bag in the water, I'm not going to go pick it up.
Nope.
What made them go? I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. They were cleaning up the river or something, but...
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions as well, but...
Well, let's hope this
They're gonna
gets
remain...
the eerily beloved juju, and there's an update in the story.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, well, thank you for listening to this episode this week. If you did choose to listen, I really appreciate it. And would also really appreciate if you go rate and review the podcast 5 stars. Helps us out a lot, just getting more people to see this and hopefully have more people hear about these cases to hope just give them exposure so they can be solved, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, and we're going to go on a field trip in the next few weeks to Villebois.
Yeah, sure. Be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the places, Eerily Beloved Podcasts. We'll post some fun stuff over there. Oh, and if you have any cases like this, missing persons, cold cases, creepy stories, anything like that, please email eerilybelovedpodcast@gmail.com. The links to both this and social media will be in the show notes. And yeah, hope you have a happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, any day you're listening to this.
See you next week.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.